Assembly, where she was asked about subsidy on kerosene. This is a subsidy that goes into hundreds of billions of naira. And she said she has no idea.
As the days go by, the Anambra governorship polls continue to make headlines. The All Progressives Congress APC has petitioned the Independent National Electoral Commission, that's INEC, over irregularities that characterize the polls. The APC is demanding that the state's resident electoral commissioner, Professor Chukwuemeka Onukogo, should be transferred, arrested, and then prosecuted for allegedly ruining the election. The interim national chairman of the party, Chief Bisi Akonde, is asking that a new rep be appointed to supervise a fresh governorship election in the state. The opposition party insists that the fresh election and not supplementary poll, as well as the transfer, arrest and trial of Onukogo, are the best ways to rebuild the INEC and restore the integrity of the electoral process. Now stay with us as there's plenty to come, including Nigerians who send well wishes to President Goodluck Jonathan. That and more in a moment. Please join us again.
It opens with a gate of arts, moves into windows of creativity.
She finds the only English word she knows from somewhere hidden in the belly of a 4'9" body, and instead of "I won't care," she greets us with "bye-bye."
Branches into rooms of color and ends with a roof of imagination. Walk into Art House. The pieces all come together at 9:30 p.m. every Saturday. Art House, life is art.
Great to have you back. For all our top stories and other programs, they can be found on our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. You can now do more than just watch us. You can also interact with the channel's Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. If you've got a picture or video to share with us, all you need to do is download the Channels TV Android application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions to share your report, your pictures, and videos. Now, the Anambra governorship polls have attracted a global interest, with INEC having to field questions about problems which are associated with elections, as well as its implication for the 2015 general election. INEC told a forum in the United Kingdom that the problems encountered in the polls is not an indication that the Commission is incapable of conducting credible elections in 2015. Keynote speaker, the INEC chairman, was absent owing to the Anambra controversy, and was represented by his special advisor, Professor Mohammed Kuna, who attempted to douse the concerns of the international community regarding credible elections in Nigeria. Our correspondent, Doris Okenwa, now reports.
Nigeria's electoral process was the center of attraction. All eyes were on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, at the Universities of London lecture series. Coming on the heels of the turbulent Anambra elections, the representative of the Commission, Professor Mohammed Kuna, tackled the theme, explaining Nigeria in the emergent global order, the road to 2015 general elections. He started by pointing out that the mistakes of past elections, particularly 2011, will not be repeated in the future, 2015 in point.
The Commission learned in the conduct of the 2011 elections that good elections require adequate and timely planning. Another lesson the Commission learned from 2011 is the importance of openness in managing elections.
Well, the just concluded controversial Anambra elections dominated the discussions, of course, as it is often difficult to make future plans without addressing the present.
When you look at what's gone on in Anambra State in the last week or so, which of the lessons did you anticipate that as a commission, and which of the lessons that you outlined in that lecture would you say this speaks to? What does that actually tell you about what's to come in 2015?
INEC, however, insists that the commission was very prepared for the Anambra elections.
Certainly, there are lessons, that already pointing to the question of the attitude of the political class that we said, because we don't believe that this officer, particularly in Idemili North local government, could have done what he did on his own.
Some Nigerians in diaspora seem rather doubtful of the country's electoral process.
If you take the case of Anambra State, for instance, into consideration, it does show that INEC need to properly be in control, because it also shows that they were not able to take charge of the process.
Meanwhile, prosecution of electoral offenders remains a spanner in the wheel of elections in Nigeria, among other issues like poor voters' education. Doris Okenwa, Channel Television News, London.
Now, a protest organized by a coalition of civil societies to compel the federal government to fulfill its responsibilities to citizens had to be dispersed by the police. Women's groups and other civil society organizations in Abuja were boarding a bus to convey them to the takeoff point of the protest when the policemen fired tear gas to disperse them. One of the organizers, Tunde Aremu, described the incident as a violation of their human rights.
Young men and women from various civil society organizations at the Millennium Park, the meeting point of activists planning a protest on the need for government to address issues hindering the nation's development.
8 years in school, I never finished. Last year, they sent all results back every time.
But few minutes after they had entered the bus to convey them to the starting point of the protest, tagged Peace Walk Against Impunity, armed policemen fired tear gas to disperse them.
What we've experienced here is policemen being mobilized and armed to the teeth, actually attacking civilians who have gathered and asked that the country be governed properly. Nigerians, particularly women, you could see a lot of them, women who feel concerned for the way the country is being run, who are asking that the state of impunity in the country be stopped, that the state of corruption, the state of mismanagement of our affairs in the country be stopped. You find out that policemen are attacking them, throwing tear gas right into their face. Even those who are in buses, they were shooting tear gas into the buses.
Carrying placards with 7 inscriptions, the protesters called on the legislature and the executive to tackle corruption, poor budgetary allocation to key sectors of the economy, and poor infrastructure.
We want a situation where the National Assembly's budget should not exceed 50 billion naira. That's the starting point. We are particular about the National Assembly because it has the power to supervise and have oversight over other arms of government. So if they put their house in order, they will now have the legitimacy and moral authority to now do their oversight. Number 2, we are saying a situation where government officials refuse to make our hospitals work, but when they have a headache, they run to foreign medical centers. We want that to stop. Let everybody be treated in Nigeria, then they will make sure that the hospitals are working.
Organizers of the Stop Impunity Nigeria say they remain undeterred in ensuring that government lives up to its responsibility of making the country a better place for all citizens.
Now Nigerians are praying and hopeful that the president's speedy recovery, a day after the president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, took ill and received medical treatment in London. Now the good news is that the president's condition is said not to be serious. Nigeria's #1 citizen is in London for the Honorary International Investors Council meeting but was unable to feature in yesterday's sessions. According to the Presidential Advisor on Media and Publicity, Dr. Ruben Abati, the President is indisposed and is taking precautionary medical measures to check an undisclosed ailment. The Presidency has assured all Nigerians that Dr. Goodluck Jonathan's condition is nothing to worry about, as it's not serious and has taken the